Hello and welcome to Gingerman. I'm on the Fife coast again, in particular Culross, one of my favourite places I have ever filmed. This place is jam-packed with history, buildings, nature, and just look at the sunrise this morning. I cannot wait to get started. So Culross, show me what you got. Peace.
I'll turn on the camera, test my microphone, I'm firing up the podcast, sound waves coming to your home. Gingerman with a can is here to make your day. Gingerman with a can, I'd like to hear you say today.
It's just taking in the morning here for a second. Pronounced Culross, has been a royal borough since 1588. This town is rich in cultural heritage, hello, and has been described as a living history lesson, just what I'll need and want, with over 20 properties owned by the National Trust for Scotland. The buildings and winding cobble streets transport you back to the 16th and 17th centuries. Some of my favourite centuries. So as you see on the western horizon, you see Grangemouth. You see, coming out early for a sunrise in a place like Culross, it is utter soothing for the soul. So my plan today is I'm just going to have a walk right along here, and then I'm going to head up to, I think it's the West Kirk, fly the drone and just have a general jaunt around Culross. I know this area well, and there is an abundance of history to go see, look at, research. There's so much. Every building has a story here. You know, I've filmed everywhere on that sign there, bar one place. Guess which one? I tell you what, there is nothing more magnificent, beautiful, spectacular in life than watching the sun rising. It is incredible. I mean, I've got flashing dots in my eyes now, but you know, it's worth it. It's worth it, because all of a sudden, look at the light across the land. And you can even, well, I say I can feel the heat off it. I can't feel no heat off it. But hey, it's beautiful. Right, let's get into Culross. Here we go. Okay, so we've got this board here about Culross Harbour. It's difficult to imagine, but 400 years ago, Culross Harbour was a centre for international trade. At that time, the pier was a loading platform for larger vessels exporting coal and salt. Smaller boats would beach at the Sand Haven. Without the harbour, Culross would not exist. The prosperity of Culross depended on the harbour, and in 1592 the king made Culross a royal borough, in a situation most suitable for shipping, and was the best port in those parts of the Firth for the export and transport of salt and coal. Anyway, let's have a wee wander. What a place for a sunrise. I don't know if this is safe, but I'm going for it. If I fall in, I'll probably freeze. Oh my, nah, there's no way I'm walking across this, not a chance. I'm just going to stand here, I'm not walking out on the pier, because for two reasons. One, it looks shaky and sugary. Two, there's only one barrier up. And three, it's a bit slidey and icy. Hey, you don't need my excuses. So this here rail track would have taken coal to Longannet Power Station. So for those who know their Gingerman history, they will know that this is the location where I started my Fife Pilgrim's Way. Right there, look, there's the board. For hundreds of years, pilgrims have journeyed across Fife to the sacred site of St Andrews as the resting place of the bones of one of Jesus's disciples. And I've done that walk, and it's a great walk. And there's a book that goes with it that tells you stories along the way. And you're following this journey of Christianity coming into Scotland. And it's a beautiful journey, really worth doing. And you can watch my version of doing it, where I actually bump into a time-travelling pilgrim who was playing a harp. Would you believe it? Look at this. There's an endless array of boards in Culross. It's perfect for tourists because you don't need to get your phone out. You're walking around and the information is right here. Culross was an important religious centre in the 6th century. It is the legendary birthplace of St Mungo, the founder and patron saint of the city of Glasgow. There you go. Unbelievable. And I believe St Mungo has a little chapel somewhere along here that I'll be checking out towards the end of the episode. There's so much to read about. There's a few skid marks on this one though. Right, here's where we come off the main part of Culross and head up into the woods for the West Kirk. If my memory serves me right, when I came here in my early episodes to film Culross, there was a tree swing up here. I can't see it, but I hope it's still standing. If it is, I'll have a shot on it. The slate lawn is so named because of the seam of grey laminated slate running parallel to it. It climbs northwards to the West Kirk Road as a narrow lane next to the site of the old Westport toll house. Everywhere you go in Culross, there's something to read. It really is a fascinating place. I mean, this is just such a hidden little gem of a trail. It's right off the main road. It's always quiet when you come up here. I can confirm the tree swing is still swinging. This is a bizarre one because it's got some chains on it. Look at the tree. It's a funky tree with a funky tree swing. Whee! Whee! Look at that. Bench and wall. It's not quite a comfy corner couch, but it does. It's such a cool wee trail up here. It's a bit steeper when you get up to this bit, but that'll just give us some nice views looking back over Culross. Look at that. Beautiful sun, and right there, I don't know if you can see it, but it's a big pile of steaming horse. I think this is the best morning we've had in a wee while. We had the storm a couple of weeks ago, so I'll see if there's any damage around here. According to the 2006 estimate, that was ages ago, 2006, the village has a population of 395. However, including Valleyfield in 2022, it was recorded at 2,280. So that's somewhere about in between those two numbers is the population of Culross. Anyway, what else did I read here? Culross is Scottish Gaelic for Holy Point. Of course it is. Of course it is, because it's a real holy place. You feel it. You feel it walking around. It connects you to the land. Everything about Culross is the land, the location. It's all here because of it. If it wasn't for the coal and the salt and the harbour, Culross wouldn't be here. There she is, right in front of me. Here it is. The West Kirk was the original parish church for Culross and Kincardine from the early 12th century. That was donkeys ago. Until after the Reformation, when the status was transferred to Culross Abbey. We'll see Culross Abbey later. Locating the church on the main moor road between the two places was a logical choice, but it still meant that on their day off work, many of the parishioners, miners, salt panners, labourers and their families had to walk more than 3 miles to church. Hey, I'm not going to lie, it's a trek up here, but on a braw morning it's worth it. Many famous people are buried in its fascinating graveyard, and there are numerous interesting gravestones. It's actually getting some construction work done to it. I think they're getting an inflatable hot tub installed. I can't be sure. But anyway, wonder if it got damaged in the recent storm. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to walk right round and down a wee path there that takes you out at Dunnimarrow Castle, which is another beautiful historical part of Culross. You've got the palace, you've got the old kirk, you've got St Mungo's chapel. It's all happening here, and the harbour. It's a fascinating, stunning place. It's like a mausoleum in there. The sun's fairly risen now. Oh aye, it's this. Got another board. Sometimes you go places and there's nothing to read. You go on Wikipedia, there's barely anything. You come to Culross, boards everywhere, even out in the farms here. What's this say? Scan the QR code above, and then when you're walking around the footpaths on the farm, please take pictures showing nature. That's pretty cool. I like this guy, the yellow hammer. I want to say a yellow hammer. And it tells you about the crops they grow. Oilseed rape and tatties. Whilst I remember, I just want to thank my Patron legends, who without, I wouldn't about to tuck into this Stephen's the Baker's Smarties cupcake. No, I wouldn't. You guys are legends. You allow me to keep eating, drinking, walking, talking, surviving every day so I can come out and film these videos. Your names are coming down the screen. Also, big shout out to Jamie Tate, who topped up my PayPal and got me a coffee. Thank you, it was delicious. Sorted me right out. You're also a legend. You're all legends. If you want to be a legend though, a real legend, join below. Or you can get me a coffee, whatever you want to do. Help me on my way. Thank you. Peace. Love. I'm still trying to decide if it was too early to eat a cupcake or not. My mind's telling me no, but my body is telling me yeah. I think we've got our first tree storm victim here. We've got a faller. Oh, aye, that's a faller, alright. That looks like a double faller. That's a mighty old tree. Look at that. Got all the wood. Well, it would appear we have another faller. Another one. Disrupting the flow of the path. We've got to do some sort of obstacle course to get around this one here. Aye. I'm sure someone will be out sometime to chop it all up. Where does all the chopped trees that fall go? Because when I was up at Killen, I remember I was paying like 10 quid for a bag of logs. Look at this, you can just see the top of the castle peeking out the canopy of the trees and the sun. It's all happening. There's a wee found in legend story of Culross. A legend states that when the Brittonic princess and future saint Tenue, daughter of the King of Lothian, became pregnant before marriage, her family threw her from a cliff. I mean, that's morbid. She survived the fall unharmed. That's lucky. And was soon met by an unmanned boat. She knew she had no home to go to, so she got into the boat. It sailed her across the Firth of Forth to land at Culross, where she was cared for by Saint Serf. He became foster father of her son, Saint Kentergrin, or Mungo. Oh, there you go. That is a crazy story. That is a legend story. Oh, there's a downer. There's a big down tree. Another one across the path. What's going on here? They try to tell us something. Stay off our land. Holy moly, that is massive. Look at that. Soon to be biofuel. Closer shot of the back of the castle there. It really is a hidden gem. Even on the walk round it, you know, you can miss it. I mean, you shouldn't miss it. Maybe in the summer you'll miss it when it's overgrown, but in the winter you wouldn't miss it. Anyway, it's so well hidden. It's incredible. And I was just thinking, if Saint Serf is Saint Mungo's stepdaddy, who is Saint Mungo's real daddy? Because she had him out of wedlock from someone over the Forth in the Lothians. Who was it? And just like that, we're out of the West Kirk trail and back on the 21st century asphalt road. So if you come at a more reasonable time, or a more reasonable time of year, this is the entrance to the castle. And there's a nice church there, and then you can walk up to the castle. I visited on one of my early episodes, so if you want to see, you can go back and watch that one, and then come back and watch this one. I often feel that modern places feel like nowhere, whereas you come to Culross, it doesn't matter if it was 20 years ago, 50 years ago, it feels like it's never changing much. Like, if Culross is changing, it's changing at 4 bricks per decade. This is where a lot of the character of the town comes to its own here. Look at this. Pure character. I'm going to head up this way, up the walled garden. Look at this. This is what I'm talking about, character. Winding random staircases up to walled gardens called Bessie Bar Steps. That's Culross in a nutshell, this. (1807) and then something in between. I don't quite understand. I think in the whole sort of centre part of Culross, this is like the best location. And it's not an obvious little trail up here either. It's down a tiny wee narrow alleyway. There's the Market Cross, made famous in Outlander. You can see this little bit here, the Market Cross section is just like perfect for filming. It is like a set, a TV set, a film set, whatever. It's all just naturally oozing character. It's brilliant. It's well worth just standing around. The only, I'm going to say it, the only downside is the cars, the vehicles, the workers. You don't really, it doesn't really give you that full sense, which is sad, but hey, cars are a part of modern life and we need them, so, and people need to live and work in these houses. I love the concept of Outlander. I like the idea of being able to travel back in time. Imagine going back with a GoPro in your hand. It'd freak everyone out. They'd definitely think I was a wizard. So here's the Tron. Culross became a wealthy royal borough in the 16th century, we know all about that. The original Tron, the official borough weigh beam for weighing all produce, stood close to this spot outside the new town house, which was still under construction in 1625. So, Tron House, Town House. This area is known as the Sandhaven and was then part of the harbour head, with boats tied up not far behind you. Masters of trade. Look at them. I think out of like the 20 listed buildings or in the hands of the Scotland Trust, I think most of them are in this section. You can see them, they've all got the wee plaques on them. That means they're protected houses. Let's look at the palace. The palace is shut. I think it's most magnificent from the outside. The yellow facing. Then we got this guy, Admiral Lord Thomas Alexander Cockring. So he was a naval commander between 1775 and 1860, that's when he was alive. 10th Earl of Dundonald. Do you think, you imagined you'd have a big giant statue of his face looking over Culross? Now we're at this point, is so old along here that there's no pavements. They didn't need pavements in 1676. Just folk trotting around on horses. Here's the mid causeway. Heading along here into the low causeway. There's the Red Lion Inn. Again, I recommend going if you've never been. Get the afternoon, get the family, get the granny, and head on in to the Red Lion for some lunch. Really, take your time and enjoy it, it's beautiful. So just as I was talking about Thomas Cochrane, there he's got his Cochrane Heaven is so named as a tribute to Admiral Thomas Cochrane, 10th Earl of Dundonald. And then it goes on to say he left Britain and is acknowledged as a hero in Chile, Peru, Brazil and Greece, all countries he helped to independence. Here is where the old school used to be, the tin school. For over 50 years, from 1912 to 1970, the front of the village school, a huge prefabricated structure of corrugated iron and wood on a brick base, stood on this border all the way to the top of the orchard. So what they have done since then is they've built and created this beautiful community garden and orchard. A great space, and then you've got the little memory that shows you what used to be here. I like that. I love that. I think that's what we're doing online now, is we're creating, via vlogs and stuff, we're creating the sort of history trails like that, but online history trails, because, you know, things change, you know, things degrade, whatever, and, you know, you can't stop that. But hopefully we can keep these records for long-term history use. There you go. Best kept small village annual trophy. Right, I'm going to head along here and I'm going to find St Mungo's Chapel, and then it's probably the end of my morning and filming. I'll conclude all of the fun I've had today. Alright, it's Fisher and Anderson Roofing Limited giving me the old toot toot. True story, I used to play football for Elgin Star, and that was our home pitch for a while. Good memories here. Just think of the layers of history in this woodland and under the ground here. So this is St Mungo's cottage, which can only mean St Mungo's Chapel will be along here. Aha! Here we are. This is what's left of it. St Mungo's Chapel. Now this does feel like a really holy point here. Just imagine St Mungo standing at this very point I'm standing at, just at a different time, speaking the word of God to people. Do you think St Mungo could get the bus to Dunfermline? This? It would appear as you walk along the road from the chapel, there's another building, but this one's been completely overtaken by nature. Look at this. So I've not filmed this on any of my travels yet to Culross. This is cool. This has got a funny feeling of Outlander. You know, like when I come out of here, I'm going to be transported back in time to the 1700s. I bloody hope not. I don't know how I'd get this episode up. Bloody trees growing through the building. Massive trees. Oh, this is the sort of place you'd be building a hut, a gang hut, and trying to hide in as a kid. Completely and utterly taken over by nature. It's going to put out there, it's probably not very safe to be walking through. Look at this, big bricks falling about. Wow. It's a giant fireplace. Fireplace, meet the trees. Trees, meet the fireplace. What an ironic coming together, isn't it? Fireplace and the tree. But in this situation, the tree's dominating. It's like, ah, hey, you're not burning any wood anymore, son. We're taking over this town. There we go. We're in the 1700s? No, we're not. There's a BMW. Right, I'm going to walk to the edge of the town where the sign is, and then I'll probably call it a day after that. Tell you what, I've not seen one of these signs in ages. And there we are. Welcome to the Royal Borough of Culross. Made it to the edge of town, and I'm going to walk right back through to the East Car Park and conclude on what's been a very fun morning for me, and hopefully for you if you're still watching at this point. Thanks for getting this far in the video. If you've got this far, please thumbs up, subscribe, do all of that, help the algorithm, and we'll have a wee up spike in the Ginger views and content. I'll go and start doing 2 episodes a week for a while. Let's see what we can do. Get lots of episodes in this year. This is a glorious way to end my morning, just a walk along here at the front. The water's so calm, the sun is high in the sky now, it's much warmer than it was this morning. I'm feeling good. If you want to do this walk yourself, the one that I've just done, it really isn't too much of a stress at any point. You know, the mud on the road up to the Kirk's a bit slippery and minging, but other than that, this is a walk for everyone, with just a little bit of everything. Well worth the visit, well worth the day out, and Culross for me is 10 out of 10. Not all places were made equal, but this is the holy point. Literally touched by the fingertips of God, Culross has been. What a place, I love it. Thanks for having me again, Culross. I'll see you in another 4 years. Peace.
Well, it was a lovely to see you. It's the end of the show. Bring on tomorrow. Where shall we go? Where shall we go? Say goodnight to the Gingerman. One last ice cream for the bearded band. Pistachio